Hello and welcome to Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. Hey, we've got so much to talk about today. We've got the Super Bowl. We've got coronavirus shocking the world. We've got hot stock picks for you today. We've even got a goat and a dog running it off for mayor in Vermont. I'm here with Richard. What do you think, Richard?
Hey, man, this is looking like a good week for picks right now, my man.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much going on. And, you know, we got to address the elephant in the room. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. This is our premiere podcast. This is
First
our first ever podcast. Yeah, season 1, episode 1.
We thought we'd give it a shot.
Yeah, we're here with some picks. We've got some ideas.
The goal is to drop weekly and to pick. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's picks.
Yeah, we like to talk about sports. We like to talk about stocks. We like to talk about what's going on in the news, and we want to share what we think the trends are looking like, and give you our picks.
Yeah, what happened in the past week and what's going to happen next week.
Exactly.
Sports, stock market, in the news cycle, everything all around the boat. That's the point of our podcast.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to
roll. So I mean, how's it been going?
It's been good. I mean,
How's life?
life been treating me pretty well. Doing good at work, doing good and partying it up a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to get out there a little bit and shake it up a little.
What kind of partying you doing?
You know, watching TV.
All right. Well, I mean, I think what we should do is we should move to our news stories for the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we do is we review some Bing news.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we review Bing news?
Well, Bing is the far superior search engine.
Are you kidding me? You know you're going to get raked over the coals for that.
Oh, I don't care about that. In all honesty, Bing, when you use their search engine, they give you Microsoft points, and you can use those points to redeem Microsoft products.
So what? I mean, okay. Well, we'll leave it there. I mean, how many points is it? You got to search like 5 million things before you can get.
It takes you a good year before you can really get anything of value.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
But they've got a great news feed, so we're gonna get into that a little bit.
Yeah, they've always got the greatest stories right on their
for
homepage,
sure.
right? So that's where we're going. That's where we get our stories. And the first story of the day is more of a sad story.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely like a tribute. And this is going to be about Kobe Bryant, and I don't really even know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, one of the greatest legends of our time, Kobe Bryant's going to go down in history as one of the greatest basketball players in the NBA. And it's just, somber, and it really thinks about your own mortality, that a guy that was only 41 years of age, he had a lot going for him, a lot ahead of him. A beautiful family, and it can all end that quickly. So,
and there were a lot. I think there were 8 other people that died on that helicopter crash.
Absolutely, yeah.
Families and his, Kobe Bryant's daughter was there, and other children.
Yeah, I mean, it's a moment for reflection, and it's definitely something that shakes everybody. You don't know when it's going to happen, and someone of such prominence and someone that really had a lot going for them.
Yeah. It makes you think, because you think that Kobe Bryant is someone it's almost invincible in your mind as a person. The fame, the money, and it's just not. No one's invincible.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm reading the stories today. The chopper was flying in fog and all this stuff, and
it was
just like no one knows why something like this could happen.
Yeah, it was just a precarious situation. I don't know that there's anyone to blame at this point. I think that it's just something that happens.
Like maybe should have been grounded.
Yeah.
Maybe should have been.
It could have been anything. Yep. Yeah. This, that, and the other thing. I think.
We're just sad like everybody else, and we're just gonna think about life a little bit deeper. This week,
Just a tribute to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, he was
everything that he accomplished.
Yeah, he was, and you read about the things he was doing after he retired, with the women's game and coaching youth women's leagues and things like that. I mean, he was really making an impact.
Yeah, really trying to bolster the sport, from every angle.
So, okay, well, I guess we'll move on. What's our other big stories? I mean, the biggest story in the news this past week was
coronavirus, of course.
Absolutely.
And that's just been something that's been going on for a while now. It's I mean, it started what must have been last
2 weeks ago
2
at the
weeks ago
most.
now.
I mean, yeah.
It hasn't been particularly long, but it's had a pretty impactful couple of weeks. Obviously, most of this is going on in China, and they've already got in China more than 2,700 cases in just the province in which the Wuhan, which is the main city in the province where all of the coronavirus outbreak was tracked back to.
Right.
They have 2,700 cases in just that province alone. 4,500 cases
Worldwide. Oh, no, nationwide.
Within
China.
the country of
Gotcha.
China. And they think that could be a low ball too. It's really hard to determine how many people are actually infected because they think there may be a potential for this thing to spread before your symptoms actually become prevalent. So it's a pretty breathtaking thing. We have already over 106 deaths from this. It just climbed to over 100, I believe,
Yeah,
today.
just crossed the 100 mark.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are really concerned about this. It's making people anxious.
Yeah.
Even here in the U.S., where we've maybe got 1 or 2 cases.
Now we have 5. Yeah, we just bumped up to 5. We did originally only have a handful, but Chicago, I think California, Seattle, all of these places have had a couple. And I mean, it's really, I'm sure the families of these people that have lost their lives to this are devastated as well, but it's really been crippling China as a whole. You know, people that wouldn't have otherwise been directly impacted by the virus itself.
The economy.
Yeah, exactly.
And the measures that they have to take to keep everyone isolated.
Exactly.
So, you know, we heard that the whole cities are getting locked down. You can't even drive. You want to go to work? No, you can't go to work.
No, I mean
not until March or not until April or something like that.
Trains, roadways. I mean, they have put up hospitals in record time because they just don't have the facilities to house these kinds of people, or this kind of outbreak. So it's pretty intense, and it's having global ramifications. I mean, it's already spread, like you said, to internationally, and so
yeah, it's gonna spread. I mean, people are traveling all over the place, and so what do you do? I mean, how have we reached the peak? I mean, we were talking about this a couple days ago.
Yeah,
about maybe it was peaking out.
Are we?
Is it
are
still
we
rising?
Thresholding? Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm asking you because you did more research on this than
I would have said had you asked me Friday, I think I might have said this is it. We're peaking out. But that's the end of the news week, and it's easy to just say something's going to be not relevant anymore by the time the weekend's over. But it's pretty prevalent right now. So
especially
I think
how China's economy is really linked to the global economy now, and when they've got all that suppression going on for don't get me wrong, for necessary reasons as they decide, that is suppressing their economy though in a way that's affecting people, even if the virus isn't reaching not just in China but globally.
And I think that they really upped their measures within the last couple of days in particular. So I think we may be seeing a slowing in that, in the spread and the rate of spread. I think that there's other indications, that as we'll get into, that maybe the impact has pretty much pinnacled out. So I'd say within the next week or so, we'll see this getting under much more under control than what it's been.
Okay, well, that's your pick, right?
Yeah, that's my pick for that.
So I'm looking through Bing. I'm looking at other stories. We had this child labor fine on Chipotle.
Oh yeah, that's pretty intense.
That was kind of. I guess they had people under 18 working past midnight and more than a certain amount of hours, whatever.
Just stands out.
I'm just looking at stuff right now as we're sitting here.
And Big Newsfeed's got all kinds of fun stuff.
I guess today in 1986 is when the Challenger
rocket?
tragedy. I don't know how you would say that.
Okay,
well, we do have our funny story for the day.
Yeah, of course. I always got to have a funny story.
And I think I brought this up in the intro. But I'm looking through Bing News and I see dog and goat compete for honorary mayor of Vermont town. There's a picture of a goat just.
So, oh my gosh.
So
wait,
they're having an election.
Are you even allowed to run a dog or a goat or any other, like an animal, for mayor of a town?
Well,
is that allowed?
I don't think so. But see, this is an actual mayor. This is not the actual mayor.
Oh.
This is like an honorary. This is like a special event that they're doing. Yeah, it's just it's silly, but it's actually a really good story.
Yeah.
And I was looking into this. It's in Vermont. They want to teach their kids to be good citizens, to vote, because they have like lower vote participation like pretty much everywhere right now. So they're doing this voting, I don't know how to call it, like event where they raise money because they charge $1 to vote. So all the money that comes in from the special vote that doesn't really matter for anything goes towards this playground for the children of the town. So they're trying to teach the children to vote. They're helping the children building a playground, and they're also, doing something fun.
Yeah, that's
a goat and a dog.
That is like I think that's a really good way to get kids engaged, because
exactly
all they're thinking is, I want to be able to vote for a goat or a horse or a dog or a cat or whatever.
Yeah, you can sort of hype that up. I mean, actually, the dog that's up for it's Sammy the dog.
Ooh.
And what is the goat's name? Lincoln. Lincoln the goat.
I will say Lincoln has the eyes. He's definitely gunning for the win.
He
right
won.
now.
He won last year. They said he won the event last year. But this time they're bringing in for a rival
new contender. Ooh.
Yeah, the canine unit.
Ooh.
It's a dog. It's the police dog named Sammy.
Oh.
So it's really cool. It's like getting the whole on many phases. You're building a civic engagement.
That is cute.
You bring the police out.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you kind of like build that trust in your community as well. With the law enforcement. Well, that's a heartwarming story in the end.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
Goat versus.
I just read goat versus dog in mayoral election. I was like, what are we doing?
The world
here?
is crumbling now.
Yeah. No, okay, so that's gonna about cover it for news.
Yeah.
I know we're moving on to this week's sports.
Yeah, of course. And what could be more? I mean, what a better way to start a podcast than with Super Bowl 54.
The biggest sporting event of the year, really.
I mean, it really
in the US.
is. I mean, I think there's probably some truth to that globally as well.
Absolutely.
I think
this
that
is
there's
the
a lot
biggest
of people that really like to watch.
We've been looking
football.
forward to this.
Oh yeah,
all year.
And this was a good season too. Like we had a pretty interesting playoff going on there. There were some upsets.
Upset of the Ravens.
Yeah.
You had the
some star children there. Some kids that you did not think were going to be up there.
I mean, you had the Patriots throughout the season. That kind of the collapse of the Patriots, right? They started out the season undefeated, like 8 games or 6 games or something like that, and they fell off the wagon. So, I mean, it's all coming together here with the 49ers versus the Chiefs.
Yeah, 49ers versus the Chiefs, which is just, I mean, you look at some of these stats, the things that are going on, and you know what? Well, I guess we can get into that a little bit because we also have...
Well, we're going to do our picks, but, I mean, let's talk about this game.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we looking at as far as the betting, the Vegas odds and everything?
Oh, yeah, the Vegas odds have the Chiefs looking like the favorite right now.
Yeah, but not looking clearly like the favorite.
Definitely not.
It's basically Vegas is saying this is a coin toss, right?
It's essentially a coin toss. I mean, they have them a 1 point on the spread, which is about as low as it gets. I mean, I don't think you could put a half point
you look at the stats of these two teams. All right, you've got points per game. 49ers are outscoring the Chiefs. No one would have. I don't think anyone would have thought that.
Yeah, 29.9 to 28.2.
And that's a pretty good bump. I mean, as far as points per game is concerned, I mean they're both really high, but
point and a half, something like that.
But if you had asked me beforehand, I would have said the Chiefs are scoring more points. But I guess the Chiefs had some rough patches earlier in the season.
Yeah, especially when you think about like the offensive talent that they have on the Chiefs. I could see how that belief might come into play there because. I mean, they do have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, a number of really fast different backs and receivers.
Skills players, yeah.
Yeah, skills players. I mean, they've got it all.
But the 49ers just impose their will on everybody on offense, not just on defense. If you watch the 49ers, like their zone run blocking scheme, it's just their blocking is outstanding. And then they've got the talent, really, and the game manager and Garoppolo to go out there and to keep drives moving. I mean, and once they get drives rolling along, they eat clock and they impose their will on you, basically.
Yeah.
Physical and everything.
I mean, that's easy, too, when you've got a defense that's making stops.
I'm looking at their opponent's points per game average, and they're dead. It's like a dead heat. It's 19.4 for 49ers, 19.3 for Chiefs. And I wouldn't have thought that the Chiefs' defense was that good.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising, too. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is
really
turning out to be one of the best matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah, just based on regular season, postseason statistics.
It's pretty crazy.
This is a pretty cool matchup right here. So this is going to be an exciting Super Bowl for sure.
I hope so. I hope it's a good game. I guess we'll go over the picks later. But what else do we have in sports going on this week?
I believe English Premier League.
We talk about. Yeah, we get into English Premier League.
Yeah, English Premier League.
There might not be a lot of people
coming up. Yeah,
might not be a lot of people out there that are that interested. But hey, maybe we can spark a little bit of interest.
Yeah, certainly. If you aren't a part of or not a avid watcher of English Premier League right now, you should definitely get into it. It's a good season right now because it is a pretty tight table right now.
Besides Liverpool at the top.
Yeah, we have Liverpool at the top. We have Man City somewhat close behind.
You know, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a totally different system. You know, they have a table and there's no playoffs. So it's just really just go and investigate it. I mean, it's fun. It's really some fun stuff.
A lot of fun.
So, I mean, I'll go over some of the big games. I mean, I'll go over some, let's see here. I mean, basically the three big games that we have this week are Leicester City versus Chelsea. That's at Leicester. We've got Manchester United hosting Wolverhampton, who's moving up in the table. We've got Tottenham hosting Manchester City. I mean, those are the three big games, I think, for this weekend, this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, those have a lot of implications on the top of the table. I mean, like you said, Liverpool is like way out in front. Man City's kind of up there too. And then you have Leicester City, who's a little higher on the table, harder to catch. But we're coming into the end game. There's only 38 weeks. We're in week 25 now, so we're coming into end game.
And I'll ask you this trivia question, Richard. How about this? Separating number 5 on the table from number 14 on the table, how many points are separating them?
I mean, it's got to be something like 15, 20 points. 15 points? 15.
4 points.
No way.
4 points separate Manchester United at 5th place from Newcastle at 14th.
Wow. 14th. And there's only 20 teams in the league. So, I mean, that's saying something.
They're all sitting, all that middle of the table is just sitting right there on 30 points or 34 points. You know?
I mean, you could easily, in any given year, see the top of the table start taking over and the bottom of the table start falling apart.
Yeah.
But that's not the reality this year necessarily. I mean, the middle of the table, especially the top middle of the table, 14-5, are pretty close together. And again, for those of you that don't necessarily watch English Premier League, number 5 gets to go to, is it number 5 that gets to go to Europa League?
Yes.
And then number 4 through number 1 get to go into Champions League, which
those are the two European competitions that are above and beyond just the normal league play. So, I mean, yeah, like we said, go investigate it. It's there's a lot happening.
A lot happening there, and we've got a couple of picks in line for that too.
Yeah, another really good game, by the way. Before we move on, for this week is Crystal Palace at Sheffield. I think don't miss out on that game because Sheffield is at 7th, Crystal Palace is at 11th, but Crystal Palace has had some. Yeah, last week not so good, but they've had some quality performances lately, and I've actually got my my algorithm here, my spreadsheet where I plug in all the results, and it tells me kind of a performance factor for each team. I have Crystal Palace as having the easiest schedule from here on out until the end of the season, just based on who they've played, who they have yet to play. So Crystal Palace could make some moves, and they're facing a really tough competitor in Sheffield who has overperformed. That's a promoted team, by the way.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway, and yeah, they're up there at 8th place, and 1 point away from 5th through 7th. So
yeah,
it's cool.
It's tight, yeah.
Well, moving on. We have what do we have?
We have the Australian Open. Tennis. I'll be the first to admit this. I'm not the most avid watcher of tennis.
You play tennis?
I play for fun. I never played competitively before, but it's always fun to just check on the scores and see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean those what do you call them? The brackets.
Yep, the brackets.
It's cool to watch. I mean,
and
we've had some drama.
Oh,
women's side especially.
Oh yeah, certainly. We had a big upset. Number 15. 15-year-old American girl Goff upset Osaka,
who was the reigning champ.
Reigning champ, number 3 seed, I think she was.
Something like that.
Yeah, number 3 seed in this tournament. So I mean, it was a pretty wild upset coming from a very young and up and coming individual. So don't sleep on Goff going forward.
We have Birdie, or what's her name? The Australian woman. Is really favored to pull this one out.
Oh yeah, big time number 1,
Barty.
Yeah, coming in.
She's looking good.
She's looking really good.
I haven't really watched too much. I can't really comment on what I think, but I think according to what we're looking at on the table here.
She's had some
bracket.
She's had some quality wins throughout all the previous rounds.
Yeah.
And
she's a home favorite, right?
Oh yeah, and she's at home field, so you always get that home field advantage. We also have coming in Halep.
Yeah, Halep. We were saying that she might be able to make a run. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
she's looked impressive.
She's had some pretty quality wins as well.
And on the men's side.
Some
big names still in there.
Oh yeah, a lot of big names still in there. We still have Nadal,
who's the top seed,
number 1 seed. He's always looking like a really good candidate.
People are talking that he might win. I mean, we still have Djokovic and Federer in there. Yeah, they're going to play each other.
Yeah, so that's going to be the tightest. That's going to probably be the most interesting game.
That'll be fun.
In the next couple of days, because the final isn't until later this week. But the semifinal match is already set up. It's going to be Djokovic versus Federer, and that's the number 2 and 3 seed, like you said, and they have been playing pretty quality.
We'll do a pick on that too.
Oh yeah,
just for the men's, because I don't know enough about the women's side.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know enough about the sport in general.
Yeah, at least I know these. Yeah, that's true.
These big names.
There are a lot of big names left in the men's side.
Yeah, and it's coming, and it's whittling down to the end now. It's worth getting a look at.
All right. Any other sports news that you can think of? Anything else going on in college basketball?
I mean, we have college basketball. We've got Baylor sitting up at number 1, Gonzaga number 2, Kansas number 3. I mean, this is not the most shocking top 3.
There's been a lot of upsets in college.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going to go with that. There have been a lot of teams that sat up at number 1 and have gotten dethroned, and I don't know if this is the year of upsets. Maybe I'm overzealous about that. It just felt like early season. But
watch it be all these upsets in the regular season. And when we get to the bracket, it's just perfect bracket.
Perfect bracket.
Like no upsets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like if you're gonna pick a bracket,
everyone's picking all these upsets.
Yeah. The one you wouldn't pick is the one that ends up happening. That would be pretty wild. But I mean, yeah, March Madness rolling through in the next month and a half.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that. I don't know. You have something else to say on college basketball?
No, not necessarily.
We'll talk about sports coming up in the next month or so.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Major League Baseball. That's spring training starting on February 21st.
Yeah,
that's less than a month away.
It is funny how quick that rolls back around. Wow. Baseball is an everyday sport.
By the way, we've got the Astros. It's going to be so crazy to watch what happens with that.
Yeah, they've got a lot going on internally. They do it a lot. Had a number of moves.
They had to make moves right before this. Yeah. So anyway, that'll be interesting. And also MLS is starting up March 1st.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be something to piggyback on.
Got some new teams.
Yeah, with the league. Yeah, with EPL, we can.
Well, are there any? Is Miami? Is there another new team besides Miami?
I don't know, but Inter Miami, I believe it is. No.
Yeah. Inter Miami is the new team for this season, but I don't know if there's another one that's matching them that's entering the other side.
I don't know that either.
I'm trying to look it up right now, but it's probably not going to be.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the deal. I think going in was that there was some weird things going on at the beginning of the last season in Major League Soccer. Teams that were ranked, that had come out of the previous playoffs, as the winner, we're not doing particularly well. So any given year with MLS, you can see a team kind of rocket its way up to the top. I mean, always a sound bet is going to be the Seattle Sounders, and Toronto is up there.
I don't know. I need to do my research, man.
Go look back at it. I mean,
yeah, you're gonna have your I feel like
LAFC was pretty hot there for a while.
Yeah, LAFC was just killing it last year.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati's gonna be the new team that's gonna join with Inter Miami.
Oh, okay.
To join the other side of the conference or something like that.
Yeah. Like I said, any given year.
We gotta get into that.
Yeah, and I don't have enough data on it yet. I'm gonna
all right,
figure
well,
out what's going
that's on the radar. And what does that bring us to?
It brings us to Dick's Picks and Captain's Log.
All right, Dick's Picks and Captain's Log. What? Wait, why are we calling this is our segment where we pick our teams?
Yeah, this is the segment where we're gonna pick.
So why is it
why
is it called Dick's Picks?
Well, obviously Dick, because my name is Richard.
Ah, that's right.
Of
Do
course.
people actually call you Dick in real life?
No one calls me
Oh,
Dick.
okay. So it's just Dick Picks.
But yeah, there's
Dick's
a little
Picks.
Dick's Picks. There's a little thing,
Yeah.
but it's PICKS. So I'm gonna. I'm
picking.
giving you my picks.
Yeah. Dick.
Like the show should
Yeah.
like the show suggests.
Yeah. Okay. So and then Captain's Log. I mean, it's actually Captain with a K, because my name is Kurt with a K.
Yeah.
I don't know. It goes back to high school.
Yeah.
People used to call me Captain.
Okay.
Captain's Log is where the guy writes down everything that's going on. And this is
You're
what
like a pioneer.
Yeah.
You're out here.
I'm trying to pick what's about to happen here.
Yeah. You're finding
This is
the
my
new
log.
world.
This is my log.
And you're telling us this is what happened. This is what's gonna happen. Call you Christopher Columbus out here, Captain's Log.
All right. Well, you made your picks, all right?
I have my
Are
picks.
these the same that? We'll see.
Yeah.
We have not told each other what our picks are going to be until just now.
Yeah,
so.
he doesn't know anything about mine. I don't know anything about his.
So the picks are going to be the Super Bowl, and then we have 3 English Premier League games that we're picking, and then we're also going to pick who we think is going to win the men's Australian Open.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll take turns then. Do you want to do the honors with the?
No, I think you need to go first, man.
Okay. Well, let's leave the Super Bowl to the end.
Okay.
And do the 3.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Right.
I like that. So let's start with EPL then. So
Yeah.
who do you have for EPL? Go down the list of the 3 games and then tell me what those
All right.
what those are going to be.
All right. For Leicester, Chelsea, I have a draw.
A draw.
Now, last time we talked, we actually came up with some numbers for this. I went back and looked at my algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my power index, and that one that I had picked before it actually get held up. So yeah, I'm picking a draw for Leicester, even though they're at home. Chelsea, I think, is going to come out strong. Chelsea has a lot on the line. Leicester doesn't have as much on the line. Leicester's higher up the table. So
I can respect that.
yeah, Manchester United against Wolves. I'm going to say Manchester United at home wins by 1.
That's a solid pick
Yeah.
too.
That's what that's. I'm pretty confident about that.
That one's a pretty self-explanatory one. I mean,
That's a
just
lot
had
on the line there, too.
They just
I
had
mean,
a similar match too.
If Manchester United loses this match to Wolves, that is a huge deal because Wolves pass them, Tottenham passes them. It's just, going into Tottenham, talking about Tottenham, we'll go with the last game. Tottenham against Manchester City with Tottenham at home. I'm picking Manchester City to win by a goal.
By a goal. Only a goal. Man
Only
City.
a goal.
Scoringest team in the league, right?
I think so. Offensively, yes.
So those are
Hey,
pretty...
but don't count Tottenham out to score. I'm just saying Manchester City's going to win by a goal.
Okay. So
What about you? What are your 3 for those?
Well, okay. So for Leicester versus Chelsea, Leicester at home. I think Leicester picks up the win. You said a draw. I think they pick up the win by 1. I think they win by 1
could do that.
because they're at home. They got their defense going to stand up. They're missing Christian Pulisic. It's gonna be a good solid one
goal win. So in my spreadsheet, my spreadsheet predicts a 0.45 goal difference advantage for Leicester, which made me pick a draw because my tipping point is 0.5. If it's greater, then it's most likely to be a goal advantage. If it's less than 0.5, it's more likely to be a draw.
Yeah, it's not enough to say that.
It's but it's right on the line. So I couldn't pick between Leicester winning or draw. So that's not a bad pick.
Okay. My Man U Wolves game, which you picked Man U to win.
Oh no.
By 1.
Don't tell me.
I picked Man U Wolves draw.
Okay.
I think they
That's
come
not a
in
bad pick
there.
either.
They come in there and they put up.
I thought you were gonna say the Wolves were gonna win.
Yo, don't sleep on it.
Yeah,
but Man U, they gotta stand up for themselves at home. I think that they're gonna put up a really good fight, but I just think that Wolves are gonna find a way to keep that score.
Keep themselves in the game until the end. Okay, so what do you have for Tottenham?
And Tottenham, Man City. I also have Man City winning. I can't see any situation.
Goal difference?
That's where we're gonna differ a little bit. I have Man City winning by 2.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing ridiculous. I think Tottenham's still a respectable team. They're a team that I like a lot. But I just think that Man City they had to draw Tottenham at home, Man City, when they hosted Tottenham at the beginning of the season. I don't think they let that one slip out of their fingers.
They haven't forgotten that match.
Not at all.
Sour taste in their mouth.
It stung, and I think it kind of set the tone for the rest of the season for them. I mean, they're sitting at second right now.
4th game of the season, and this is a season when we entered, people were saying, is it going to be City or Liverpool? It's not even a question now.
No, it's not even close.
They need revenge for that because that was a bad look for them.
And I think I really do think that set the tone for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Okay, well, those are Dick's picks and Captain's log for this week
for EPL.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We still have tennis and 49ers and Chiefs.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead for
I don't even want to talk
the
about
tennis
that.
game, the tennis match
for
this week. Men's Australian Open winner is gonna be Djokovic. Yeah, I was going on the fence of whether or not I was gonna pick Nadal.
And who do you think he's gonna beat? You think he's gonna beat Nadal in the final?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see.
You don't think Wawrinka or anything?
No. I
upset
think,
on that side.
I don't think that. I mean, well, on that side, there's still a lot to be said because they're still playing in the quarterfinals, whereas the semifinals are already set up on the Djokovic Federer side. But Djokovic has just had such consistent wins.
Yeah, he was looking good.
And really hasn't let anything get out of control. Whereas there's been a couple of tight matches between the other two. So.
Well, I picked Nadal over Djokovic.
Ooh, interesting.
It's, he is the number 1 seed. I think that he's really dominant right now. He's just really dominant. And I think that it's possible that Djokovic will run a deep match against Federer. That will maybe impact him a little bit.
That's a good point.
Whereas Nadal may have an easier skid. I don't really know who he's facing in the semifinal. But anyway, that's my pick. I don't know anything about, I'm not an expert at tennis. So I'm going to go there. Okay, now
I think those are good picks.
Okay, we have to do the Super Bowl now. I was afraid to do this, and that's why I wanted to move on early.
Yeah. But you got to get to it, man.
All right, is it my turn?
I think it is your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my pick. I'm keeping the pick the same that we told.
Okay.
I'm picking the 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
Win. The 49ers, the underdog team.
Yeah, by 1 point.
By 1. Oh, okay. So
but I think that they're going to win by 6.
Okay. So your official spread is 1, but you think they're going to win by 6? Or are you saying your official spread is 6?
No, my official spread is 6.
Oh.
No, I was saying that they're
six?
underdogs. They're underdogs by only 1 point.
Oh yeah, they're underdogs.
They're not really underdogs.
Yeah, it's a flip. Yeah.
So
flip.
I'm picking 49ers to win by 6.
Okay, I can respect that. That's a pretty high. That's a pretty high threshold to clear.
I'll tell you.
So I'm gonna have to agree with you on the 49ers winning.
Oh.
I think they've got the defense to win the Super Bowl this year, and you know what they say, defense wins championships. Mm-hmm. But I think they're only going to win by 3.
Okay. My
official spread's going to be a little bit tighter because I think that they're going to have a bit of a challenge with the Chiefs' talented offense. Not to say that the 49ers don't have a talented offense too. I think that's going to play into why they end up winning the game.
Do you think it's going to be like high scoring, low scoring?
If I had to put an actual score to it, I would say something on the range of like 31-28 or something along those lines. I think it'd be pretty high scoring. I don't know what the over-under is on that game.
I'm definitely saying high scoring.
I think the over, I'm going to look at it, the over-under on that game is 54.5. So that's reasonably high. That's about 28 to 25, something like that.
I mean, I think here's what I think is going to happen, and I've said this before. I think that the 49ers are going to jump out to a really comfortable lead, and then the Chiefs are going to have the talent to come back late in the game with their offense and score points to catch up. But the 49ers are just going to stay one step ahead of them until the end.
Yeah.
You know, they might the Chiefs might close the gap, and then it's just the 49ers are going to be sitting there at the end, running out the clock, bashing the with the running game and everything.
Yeah, at a certain point you see a team that's from behind, coming from behind because the defense elects to play a little more conservative and the offense is a little bit more risky, and so that's how you tend to see those things tighten up again.
All right, now that is the conclusion, I think, right?
Yes, that's the conclusion
of
for our picks.
Captain's log and Dick's picks.
In the sports realm. But now we move to the stock market.
Yep.
What is the stock market saying this week, Kurt?
Well, I got the numbers right here. We've got the everything's down over the last week. We've been in the coronavirus week.
Yeah.
But some mixed results. It was down earlier, and then the last couple of days it's bounced up a little bit. Right now the S&P 500 is down 1.61% since last week. The Dow is down 1.92% since last week. NASDAQ is down 1.5%. So, like I said, it's mixed results.
Yeah, pretty solid downs though. I mean, 1.5%, 2% almost. That's pretty.
Those are not something to ignore.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at just today.
Today was a bounce back day.
There's a good bounce back day. So I mean, there's hope. There's hope to be said, and don't look at the last week as an official trend necessarily.
I'll say the headlines that I've been reading the last couple days have been mixed. I mean, there's a lot of people that are saying the coronavirus is what spurred the slowdown, the trade off, the sell off, and that those fears are starting to dissolve, and that's why you see the bounce back today in the last couple days. Also, Apple had a really good sales call or whatever it was, earnings report or earnings call. And that led that they were way out in front. I think they're up somewhere around 2.5% or 3% just on the day, Friday.
Yeah, a solid tech company like that can pull up some good numbers.
Yeah,
out of S&P 500 and Dow.
But there were some other headlines that said that this market has been moving so quickly, so fast that it's slightly overvalued, and it was time for a sell-off. It's time for a dip of some sort, which happens. That's nothing.
Just
serious.
A healthy trade.
Correction.
Healthy little trades.
Yep. Yeah, and I also read something that said defense stocks were performing better than anything, and there was someone that, well, we'll get to it in the hot takes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'll hit. Do you want to start the hot takes?
Yeah, I'll start the hot takes.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and run through my hot takes.
We got 3 hot takes each week.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick my 3 that I'm looking at, and you have 3 that you're looking at.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and kick it off. I'm gonna keep all of mine pretty high level because I think that's a good way to look at the market right now because of just how much it's been cutting and then growing all of a sudden. First is going to be Microsoft. Microsoft down.
That's a classic.
Down a couple percent, or around the percent range since this time last week, but up almost 2% just today alone. So they're bouncing back up. I
think that's a steady grower.
That's always a solid bet. Picking up Microsoft. So for me, I'm picking up Microsoft.
What's your number 2 hot take?
Number 2 is going to be Alibaba. Alibaba is the confusing pick. It's a Chinese run corporation, so
they're having some issues.
They're having a lot going on with the coronavirus, but I think long term, I think that they're going to be a competitor in that Amazon-esque kind of market. And they serve a really big market out in East Asia. So
is this a long-term pick or is this a just this week pick?
This pick is also a long-term pick. I think that Alibaba, you're gonna want to.
So you don't necessarily think in the next week this thing's gonna be looking really good.
Obviously, it's all dependent on the coronavirus.
All right, what's the last one you're looking at?
Last one is Virgin Galactic. This is something that just hit the market a couple of months ago. Had an IPO of around $10 and dropped off a little bit. That was what, back in October or something? Yeah, like only a handful of months ago. But has been explosive since mid-December or early December. It's gone from $7 a share, almost $7.20 a share, and it's floating around $18 a share.
What was it
right
before
now.
the dip there? It was up
Before
to
the
what,
dip?
20? No, up at the very peak.
Oh yeah, and it was trading at its highest at around
Almost $20 a share.
Yeah, 1975.
So coming up, from in like about a month from 7 to 20, that was a huge.
Yeah, it's had wildly rapid growth. Now this is kind of concerning to me because it's such a young IPO or it's such a young stock that I don't know what it's going to be doing. This is just something I'm interested in because I think that the implications in transportation field are pretty substantial. Think about being able to fly from New York to Australia in just a handful of hours because you can go supersonic in beyond the atmosphere. You can go through space. So
And as much as it's exploded, it's not super high. I mean, it's at 7. It's not like it's at 100 right now.
No, it's not trading off the
right. It might have room to grow. You never know.
Yeah, so I think that's a solid something to look at for sure. Maybe you want to sit around with it. What do you have?
So for my hot takes, I've got Chegg number 1. Chegg is that online educational help platform. Buying textbooks, sharing and helping tutoring on mostly college courses, things of that nature. Classes just started up. They haven't looked terribly great so far in the last week, but I think that they've got some. They've grown a ton over the last short term and over the last year or two.
Yeah.
And I just think that because the semester's starting up, they might get some. They might get some growth. Happening here.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable assumption.
Yeah, and then I was talking just a minute ago about the defense stocks performing better than the rest of the market, and there was a suggestion that according to the trends that there's no sign of stopping. So my second stock that I'm picking for hot take is Raytheon. I looked at Lockheed Martin. It looks like Lockheed is through the roof, as in it's already as high as it can get. It's hard to imagine it getting much higher. But Raytheon's in a little bit of a dip, but it's over the last few months. It's been coming out of. There was some talk about a buyout that it was buying another company or another company was buying it. This was a few months ago, maybe even a year ago. And it took a dip. It's been coming out of that trough, and it's been working pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I mean, so it's a defense stock that I think is doing well based on all what's going on in the world. Maybe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And my last pick is Cintas, which is sort of a steady grower.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
I think Cintas is a company that provides. Yeah, go ahead and look it up.
Yeah.
I think it provides uniforms for companies.
Oh, okay.
For businesses.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. You're saying like products that a business would use to represent a brand or something.
Maybe
like
that and all sorts of other. Devices, sometimes like first aid and safety devices inside the workplace.
They're like bulk sales for these kinds of specialized things.
I think so, something
businesses.
like that.
Okay.
They're a very steady grower that's been down. They've hit a little bit of a downturn lately, but this is one of those natural downs that I think that it'd be a good time to buy right now.
Alrighty.
So those are my hot takes.
Hey. I guess that'll do it for our stock market picks there.
Yeah, and so if there's no other stock market news, I guess it's time to wrap this podcast up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here.
Well, let's conclude with everything we talked about.
What are the points? What are the main points for today? Is what I
want. We hit the coronavirus, which is impacting a lot of things, including the stock market. So the virus, we got to keep our eyes on that. Is it gonna? What's it going to look like in a week from now?
Yeah, you got to stay healthy out there, maybe. I think for me personally,
is this going to be gone in a week? Not gone, but is it going to be?
I think it's going to be under control by the end of the week.
Okay.
I just think it's going to be under control by the end of the week.
That's a good pick. I mean, so also we talked about the Super Bowl.
I think
we are both picking the 49ers to win.
I think don't sleep on the 49ers. I would take personally. I might even do a little money line bet on that because it's such a tight odds that. I think that don't sleep on the 49ers to win the Super Bowl.
Interesting stuff. And also we both picked Nadal to win. Or no, you picked Djokovic, I picked Nadal.
Djokovic, you got Nadal.
And the stock market, it's coming out of a slight dip. And so,
I mean, I think that just about does it. I mean, that's where we stand.
Oh, and last but not least, let's all remember Kobe Bryant, his legacy. And let's just remember how fleeting life is and just go out there and live our best life and make it count.
Yeah, live your best lives out there.
All right, well, with that, I think that's pretty much it. One more thing, guys. If you like our content, if you like our podcast, just ask you to like, subscribe, comment, let us know what it's like, and let us know what we can do to make it better. Other than that, why don't you all pick some stuff from what we talked about, make your own picks, compare them to ours, and we'll see how we do over the next week. Sound good, Richard?
That sounds good, my man.
All right, well, with that, this has been Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. We'll see you guys next time. Until then.